Hello, Christ our Hope. This is Stephanie, and I'm here to talk about something exciting we're going to do this summer. I heard a quote recently that I thought was really good. It's, "The church is not an audience to be entertained, but an army to be activated." At the turn of the century, researcher George Barna engaged in some groundbreaking research that shocked him and changed his whole perspective on ministry. He found that, quote, "a majority of Americans make a lasting determination about the personal significance of Christ's death and resurrection by age 12. And as that child gets closer to adulthood, the chance to make a significant spiritual impact on him sharply diminishes." Christ our Hope has an incredible opportunity to be activated and have a significant impact on our neighborhood, and especially our neighborhood's children, this summer through a reimagining of Vacation Bible School. I want to introduce you to Christ Our Hope's Summer Fun Days. Every Wednesday in July from 6 to 8 p.m., we'll host a fun family event that welcomes our neighborhood to come interact with us casually in a drop-in format featuring the relatable theme of football. This theme will also create energy for the sports ministry we plan to host in the fall. But we don't just want to have fun, we also want to bring a message, especially to the children. The greatest challenge we face in our culture today is relativity. The idea that what's right for you may not necessarily be right for me. Social media today is full of the phrase, "live your truth." But what would happen if we applied that same philosophy to football? What if, instead of a set of rules that every single player was obligated to adhere to in order to play the game, each one was able to go their own way and make up their own rules? If this were the case in football, the game would be incredibly confusing, have no real purpose, and ultimately not be any fun at all. No one would watch football if the rules could be made up by anyone. Hopefully, by the time the children in our neighborhood have attended Summer Fun Days, they will have started to realize that life is the same way. If there is no set standard that governs us, life is incredibly confusing and has no real purpose. There will be lessons, one each week. The first week will be the referee, which is Father God who sets the rules. Week 2 will be the substitute, Jesus the Son who intervenes for us when we fail to obey the rules. Week 3, the coach, the Holy Spirit who is there to guide us every day to make righteous choices. Week 4, the playbook, the Bible, where we can read to find out the standard. And week 5, the touchdown, the eternal reward given by God that no one can take away from us. But in order to succeed, we may have to shift our perspective just a little. Many American Christians measure success by how much their church is growing. But maybe a better measure of success is how many seeds we are sowing. My hope is that would be our overarching goal with Summer Fun Days and beyond, not to focus on adding to our church numbers, but on connecting with our community in a pressure-free way. That they would sincerely feel that we don't care if they ever set foot in our church, but that they would really feel the love of Christ through us. Let's just be the workers God sends into his field, and let God be in the business of building his church. So with that said, I want to introduce you to Summer Fun Days. This is actually a live QR code and a live link. It's up, put out into the web today. So you can actually go check that out. The QR code you can usually scan with your camera on your phone, but it's the exact same if you go to this website. So, Summer Fun Days, general info. If you have any communication, suggestions, anything, concerns, anything about Summer Fun Days, I set up an email address, cohsummerfundays@gmail.com. And as I said, it's the Wednesdays in July, so that's the 2nd, the 9th, the 16th, the 23rd, and the 30th. Tentatively, I'm planning for 100 kids every Wednesday, but we'll have a better idea with advanced registrations. And in fact, if you go to that website and you hit the register button, it will actually take you to look at that registration. One thing that we are hoping to do is to have 12 and up be able to attend without a guardian if they're registered ahead of time. And then my thinking with this is because we have a lot of apartment buildings around us. We hear a lot of kids all the time, and maybe they're bored but their parent is working. But I would like to have them actually have a chance to come. And the Summer Fun Days is actually going to culminate the first Sunday in August with a back-to-school picnic. And we'll actually draw prizes that day. And speaking of prizes, people have a lot of options for their summer nights. So to encourage people to attend our event, we'll have a drawing for 3 prizes. First prize, and actually ended up being 4 prizes after I put this together. But the first prize is 2 Bengals tickets. The second prize is 2 Ohio State tickets. Third prize is a flag football set. And fourth prize is actually going to be 15 winners, and they will win a football. So, advertising. So the first week of June, and in fact, once you come to church on Sunday, hopefully they will already be up. I've received the 5x8 banners, and it was really fast shipping. I'll give you a recommendation if you need a banner or anything like that. Also, we'll have balloon accents with those banners. And the banner is going to be this. So that's exactly what the banner is going to look like. It's just what the cover was. So hopefully it's going to be big, it's going to be bright, it will be eye-catching, and people will register. So the first week of June, yes, okay, banners. The second week of June, we're actually going to send out postcard mailers to every house in the vicinity and every apartment using the Postal Service. They have a service that you can buy that does that. Also, we're going to place yard signs throughout the green spaces of the apartment complexes nearby. And we actually need to... we're probably going to have to get permission for that. I don't think that, since we're not selling anything, I think it's going to be pretty easy to get permission. But I also want to tell you a story. It says H stakes. God is already blessing this endeavor. I actually got 100 yard stakes. So those are the stakes that actually you see here on the sign. The stakes that you place yard signs with. I got 100 of those off Facebook Marketplace for $20. And if you know anything about H stakes, they're super expensive. That's probably at least $150 worth of stakes that I got for $20. So yeah, yard signs, and the yard sign design will be similar to this, but obviously scaled down. The third week of June, we're actually going to do sticky note advertisements. Because we all know that we get a lot of junk mail in our mailboxes, and so if they didn't really pay attention to the postcard, this is actually you can get a sticky notepad that is custom. So if you think of the 3x3 inch, just a regular post-it note size, you can actually get that with a design on the front. And so we're actually going to have sticky note advertisements that are that will have some of the elements of this. Obviously, we can't fit this whole thing on a postcard to have it be sticky note and have it be readable. But we'll definitely have the pertinent information for where they can go to sign up. And we're actually thinking of sticking them on every single either mailbox or door, depending on what people will allow in the apartment complex. And also on the front of every mailbox in the neighborhood that is near us. And so this will be a very good way to draw attention. This isn't something that people have seen a lot of, a sticky note advertisement. And so actually, and so then that would be the third week of June, and the last week of June, possibly another round of sticky notes, depending on how many people we already have registered in advance, because these are a pretty inexpensive way to advertise. So we actually will need people to place these things, obviously, and there's a link below this video to a few documents, but one of the documents actually is the placement team sign-up sheet. So if this is something that you're willing to do, to place sticky notes or yard signs or even make phone calls, this would be the place for you to sign up. So you can just click that link. It'll take you straight to the sheet. And I presented this on Sunday, and there were some people there. And so some people have already actually signed up. So you can join the team with Carla and Susan to help place sticky notes, etc., etc. But all you have to do is just type in your name. It's editable. You can type in your name, type in your email address, and type in what you'd like to do. Yeah, so that is advertisement. So this is a plan for how to set up this. If you recognize, this is our parking lot. So over here is our building. And I'm going to go through each of these things and give you a rundown of just to give you an idea of how this is going to run and where you can be involved. Oh, this is sort of the extension of advertising. Lots of balloons. That's very cheap ways to get. Oh, the other thing I'm supposed to show you here is these green boxes right here. That's where I'm thinking about for banner placement. We're actually going to have 2 banners so that you can see them while you're going up the street and down the street. I forgot, that's why I put that particular one right there. And also these here will be on the day of. So these are actually 5 feet tall, and they're blow-up goalpost decor. And I thought we could put those on the day of at the entrance here on either side of the entrance. And that would be a way to be very eye-catching. So general items. These didn't really have another place to go, but the tablecloths, which are so cute, those are going to be at every table that we use. Volunteer lanyards. So if you would like to volunteer the day of, everyone can get a lanyard so everyone can know, so that people who come can know who to talk to. And these are football stickers. I'll talk about those in a minute. Trash cans. I'm looking for 6, probably about 6 32-gallon trash cans. And I figured that instead of buying them, although we can, but they're a little bit more difficult to store. But if anyone has a large trash can they're willing to let the church borrow on Wednesdays in July, that would be fantastic. The other thing we're hoping to borrow is I want to put a tent over every station. And so if anyone has a 10 by 10 pop-up canopy, or similar size, if you have something bigger or a little bit smaller, it should work. It would be awesome if we could borrow that for the month of July. I know that I personally have 2. But if anyone has one that they can let us borrow, that would be fantastic. And actually, right here, I'm going to talk about how do you let people let us know that you have one of these. Another link underneath this video is going to be to the sign-up sheet for materials. Obviously, we're going to need a lot of materials to pull this off. And so like you'll see here, tablecloths. I'm figuring we'll need about 20 tablecloths. We'll have close to 10 tables. So I figure if we have 20 tablecloths, that will carry us through probably the whole month if we're pretty careful with them. And the price for 20 tablecloths is around $30. That is on Amazon. So if that's something that you're willing to sponsor, you can put your name and your email here. And in fact, if you would like to, it would be very helpful if you you see these are hyperlinks. And if you click on the actual link, this is a link to an Amazon wish list. So if you click on that, that will actually take you to the Christ Our Hope wish list. And this has a lot of the different items, and I'm going to be going through a lot of these during my presentation. But if you scroll down here, you're able to see that I have on here, you recognize these, the goalposts, the volunteer lanyards, and here's those tablecloths. So if you wanted to, that would be fantastic if you could go actually to the actual Amazon wish list, add it to your cart, and if you buy that through your Amazon account, it's actually linked so that it will be delivered to the church. And then I'll actually will be able to see where it says has. It'll say that I have 1 or 2, if someone decides to help with that. Also, we actually have a flag football set that has been bought already, so I'm actually going to delete that. Glad I looked. Okay, so back to material sign-up sheet. We also have, so here's for the trash can. If you have a trash can that we could borrow, that would be fantastic. Otherwise, too, I did find a 32-gallon trash can for just $20 at Walmart. And so actually, that's pretty much the only 2 links, I think, is Amazon and Walmart. But I found that Walmart for $20. But again, if you buy it from here, it will let me know that we have that assigned. We have that we need. And also a pop-up canopy here. As you see, we already have 2 people who have pop-up canopies that we can borrow. If you have one, just sign up here. And again, this link is below this video. And I'll cover all of this in further in the presentation, but these are all the different things that you can partner with us to donate. Okay, so the next thing is the fence. So here you see this green line here. This is about 150 feet of fence. So my thinking in this is that this will be the available parking. We don't really have street parking, so we need to be mindful of giving as much parking as we can to people who will come. But I also wanted to create a bottleneck here. Since we are going to have unaccompanied minors, I want us to make sure that they are registered. And so everyone will go through this point right here. And so the fence will go all the way up to, and you see this is registration. So, and for the fence, we're going to be using, actually, I found on Facebook Marketplace, they actually sell old utility poles. And so we can, I think I'm going to have Tim buy a few of those utility poles and cut them up so that they are this shape. And that'll be a pretty stable shape. We'll drill a hole in the top, put a length of PVC pipe in it, and then thread this plastic fence onto the PVC pipe and create a pretty inexpensive temporary fence. And so then you'll see table 1 here is the registration table. And if they register ahead of time, we'll actually probably have 2 different tables set up there. And if they register ahead of time, they can sort of do a skip the line kind of deal. Otherwise, they will have to wait here to get a paper registration. So registration items, a couple things here. This is a decoration. It's actually not quite that big, but it is pretty big. It's a blow-up football, and I thought that'd be cool to have at the registration table. Also, here are wristbands. And so my thought about wristbands is that unaccompanied minors, who again are 12 and up, will solely have the yellow wristbands. And then if you are registering as a family, so the ones with yellow wristbands, they can leave the fenced area at will, because we know that they're unaccompanied. But anyone else who is trying to leave that has a different colored wristband, they need to be with an adult that has the same colored wristband. So we will give the same colored wristband to every family. So if a family, may have a pink wristbands or blue wristbands, or whoever they come with. The other thing about these wristbands, and if you'll remember about the little football stickers, they'll wear a wristband. Every Wednesday they come, they'll get a new wristband. And when they go to each of the stations. There's actually 5 eligible stations. If they attend that station, they will get a football sticker to stick to their wristband. And so then as they go back to registration, they will be able to tell who's there, that they'll be able to prove which stations that they've gone to 5 stations. And they will then get 5 entries or an entry for each football sticker they have. But then if they go to all 5, they will double their entries for the day. I didn't explain that earlier, but that's the prizes. How we're going to do the prizes is that they will get entries for coming, and whatever stations they do, they'll get entries for that prize. And if they do all 5 days, they will get an extra 50 entries. So that's how I'm hoping to encourage participation, because some of these lessons kind of build on one another. Okay, and next, if you see number 3 here, so 2 here is just tables and chairs that are set up for parents or eating, and it's right next here to the food tent. So number 3 is the food station. And at the food station, we're going to have Nathan's Mun-length hot dogs. I really wanted to show that we value our community by having just a little bit more expensive hot dogs. For another, I think, $150, which is a small investment for them to know that we care about how things taste. So I have cute little hot dog trays. Obviously condiments, hand sanitizer. I really just put these here to make this interesting. And like I said, I'm planning for 100 kids, but that may also include parents, or not include, but maybe in addition, there may be additionally parents. And so I believe I requested 400 hot dogs a night. I don't remember. But the other thing too is that hot dogs are something that the church can use up even if we have extras. Okay, and you'll see number 4 here is the water station. And hot day doing activity, 3 to 4 cups of water per hour is what an adult should drink. Children obviously a little bit less, but 100 people would drink about 600 cups of water each Wednesday. Each 5-gallon cooler holds about 80 cups of water, and that would come to about 8 coolers of water every Wednesday. So what we're hoping is that in the church, people may have these just hanging around in your garage. I know that I have one. So if we could borrow some of those, the more that we borrow, the fewer times we'll have to refill. But if you have them, we can borrow in July. Again, go to that material sign-up sheet, and you sort of saw that was in that first page, that if you have one that we can borrow. I chose to go with paper cone cups to cut down on the amount of waste that water bottles would be, and also to cut down on, if you have a cone cup, you can't really set it down, so you have to drink it there, and then I'll have a recycling can right there, and hopefully we can just straight recycle them. And then this is the cute little dispenser for, I think the cone cups will fit in there. And let's see what's next. These are a little bit out of order, but the first aid station is number 6. I'm really, really excited about the first aid station. So the first aid station will not just be if someone gets hurt. This is actually one of the stations that they can visit in order to get a football sticker on their wristband. And they're actually going to learn a little bit about first aid every week. So week 1 is going to be how to wrap a sprain. And their little gift for that week will be a small, I don't remember what they're called. The nurses who were there last week told me what it was called, and I forgot. But they'll get these little, it's a stretchy stuff that you can wrap with that sticks to itself. Week 2 will be concussion recognition and protocol. What do you do if you have a concussion? Because that can happen during sports. And those will be the sunglasses, because one of the symptoms of concussion is light sensitivity. Week 3 will be avoiding dehydration. And so we'll give them each a little electrolyte drink packet thing. Week 4, we'll be treating scrapes and cuts, and so we're actually going to make a tiny little first aid kit for them. I found these really cute football Band-Aids, and also I forgot to put the picture of alcohol prep pads in here, but there'll be a little tiny container that they can carry around in their pocket that will have Band-Aids and alcohol prep pads, and they'll also learn a little bit about what to do with a scrape or cut. And week number 5 is recognizing heat stroke. And for that, they'll get these are one of these, the ice packs that you actually can break with your hands and they get cold. So I'm super excited about that. Next is the games. Okay. And so that's 10 over here. I figure that on one side of the entrance to the games we'll have under 11, and the other side, excuse me, we'll have over 11, and that will just be so that no little kid runs over a big kid runs over a little kid. And so that these will be the areas for that. Now, some of the games we're thinking of is a lot of relay races. So you see a football toss there. I definitely want to do a football toss since that's our theme. So that'll be the games for one of the week. You see here a ring toss. That's a game for another week. And then we'll do a few different relay races and obstacle courses with these. One of the things I was thinking of was a relay race where you have to hold the spoon in your mouth and you have maybe a little plastic football in it, and you have to, go back and forth to a certain line, and then have two teams competing against each other. And so how the games too are going to work is that they're going to be very drop-in style. They're not going to be super competitive, and anyone can join at any time. It's just a chance for them to burn off their energy. That will also help it to be more of a drop-in event. And that if, a 12 plus unaccompanied minor comes, they can just stay for the whole 2 hours and just, play games. Next is the number 7 is our popcorn station. Popcorn is a very cheap, delicious, the aroma goes all around the neighborhood. And it's a crowd pleaser. And so I decided to have a whole popcorn station. So for that popcorn station, a popcorn maker, there have been a few different suggestions about where to rent a popcorn popper. But and they run around $80 to $100 on Amazon, if you think the church should own one. But of course you have to have cute little popcorn bags and movie butter popcorn and salt. And I forgot to put a picture of the popcorn on here, and I actually forgot to add it to my list until just yesterday. Need popcorn to have a popcorn station. And then the craft station. So craft station I'm excited about too. So we're going to have a few different crafts. The first craft that we're going to have on the first week is going to be making lanyards. And so I found a pretty simple, but yet I think older kids will like design for making a lanyard. Another week we'll do a duct tape pencil pouch. And again, I'm trying to think of crafts that are not necessarily just for little kids, that older kids can enjoy, but also that little kids can do and enjoy. And so it's been a little bit difficult to do that. So I definitely, so my thoughts aren't complete on this yet. I'm thinking of doing something with pipe cleaners. I'll have pipe cleaners on here also. They're really pretty. But probably might do something with pipe cleaner art. And the others are to be determined. Okay, number 8 is actually our Ask a Priest tent. And so this is actually one of the required tents for a football sticker. And that's just to introduce yourself to Father Mike. But the other thing that, if you look on our website, you'll see the Ask a Priest is an Ask Me Anything, right? People have questions. In this day and age, there's a lot of people who just have questions. They don't know who to ask. And so I'm encouraging people to bring your questions, right? There's a priest right there willing to answer your questions. You have a question about God, a question about life, a question you've always wondered, a question about heaven, heck, angels. What do you have a question about? And I'm thinking we'll have some example questions there too. And so Father Mike can get to know people. People can see Father Mike's face, and maybe be more comfortable maybe visiting our church if they want. But you'll get the football sticker just for introducing yourself to Father Mike. And the next station is number 9. So 9 is the lesson station. And these I already said, the referee, the Father God who sets the rules. I thought for referee, they could get a little whistle. And then they would have already made, or will make, their lanyard to put their whistle on. The substitute, Jesus the Son who intervenes for us. When we fail to keep the rules, I thought a cute little football stress ball. Those are those squishy balls. The coach, Holy Spirit's there to guide us. It's a little fidget spinner football. The playbook, which is the Bible, to go where we can find out the standard. I thought we could give them a little notebook with a little golf pencil. And then the touchdown, the eternal reward given by God. They can each get a little, these are those rubber bracelets that are football themed. And some of them even say touchdown. Okay, so, also one thing I wanted to talk about, if you see here, this says prayer tree, 11. I am thinking of, and this is something that I will put together soon, because I want this to be something that actually, that we do as a church. But in our porch area, on one of the walls, I haven't decided exactly how this is going to work, but I'll figure it out. I want a prayer tree. And this prayer tree is going to be somewhere where you can post prayer requests, but also where you can take a prayer request to pray for. And Susan Bendrick actually came across this. I think it was in a church when she was in Virginia. And she said that she actually still has the prayer requests that she took from that prayer tree. And she has it as a bookmark in her Bible. And so whenever she sees it, she prays for that person. How amazing is that? And so I thought, too, that we could have a prayer tree, and would have the request papers can be shaped like leaves. So it's actually something that is eye-catching. And I want for us to do this as a church, too, for us to be able to do more praying for each other's needs. And to, it might not necessarily be something we want to put in the bulletin, right? But to write it down on a piece of paper and post it to our board so that other people can take them and be praying for them. Or even if they're up there and keep them there and someone wants to just, stand there for a few minutes, look at all the different things to pray for and just pray for them right then and there, so they can be posted for people to see. But the idea of it being in our porch is that we can have it be available for people who come. They can go post a prayer request. But then they also can come any day, any day that, they want to pull into the parking lot, go up to the porch and post a prayer request, that they can know someone is thinking about them, praying for them. But it's something that can happen anytime, even in the middle of the night. I think I got everything. Yeah. So anyways, that's my presentation of Summer Fun Days, Wednesdays in July. This is a God-sized endeavor. So to put this on, it will be in excess of $2,500 about, and that's not taking into account needing to buy more food. So for subsequent Wednesdays. So it's a God-sized endeavor, but God is with us. And with his help and with everyone pitching in, I think that we can make this something amazing for our neighborhood. And, I knew I was forgetting something. So if you want to help on Wednesdays, there is another link Wednesday volunteer interest sheet. So if you're interested in volunteering, and we need everyone that we can get. This is going to be, I think, a very popular event. We're pretty much ahead of the curve with advertising, and we are really going to hit it hard. We want people to come. We want people to, especially children, to get this message. So if you at all can help, even if you can only help one Wednesday, even if you can only come for 1 hour Wednesday, that's one thing too, is that it's only from 6 to 8, right? It's only 2 hours. And so if you can make that contribution, that would be so fantastic. Also, if you have, again, any ideas, questions, comments, concerns, this is the email address, cohsummerfundays@gmail.com. Also, I forgot to mention, if anyone knows anyone who has season tickets to the Bengals or to Ohio State that would actually be willing to help us with tickets, that would be a huge boon. I'm not super familiar with football, but I know that some people are. Anyways, that's all that I have for you. I do want to just, be looking too. This is if this really does reach our community, I have some more ideas with how we can stay connected to the community throughout the year, but I'll probably do another video for that. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this. Again, visit those links below this video to help us with materials, to sign up. That's what we need the most is people to help. So if you can help in any way, that would be fantastic. Thank you so much for listening.